Hey, we're here. I'm your host, Stephen Vanover, here on the Sports Talk Line Network, where we talk sports 24/7, 365. This is live reaction for the NFL. And wow, what a live reaction you're going to get today because there was so much action in the game. Let's go ahead, like we did last week, and we're going to go over the overall scores. Just kind of give you a heads up of what's going down, what happened today, and then we're going to circle the wagons back around and dive in and talk a little bit about some of the more interesting contests that went down today. We're not going to deal with the Thanksgiving games or any of that. We're going to dive right in to the first massacre of the day. The Raiders from Las Vegas. They went to Atlanta and they just got their ashes handed to them. 6-43 is the final score. And no, the Falcons did not blow this lead. Ouch. All right, Chargers 17, Bills 27. Man, the Chargers are a fun team to watch unless you want to get a win. They're so close to being so good, and yet they fall short every week. This week was no different. The Bills were on fire. And, hey, the little guy, man, the wide receiver that used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, he went yard, man. He threw the pass. It was awesome. I love it when they come up with plays like that. New York Giants 19, Bengals 17. This puts the New York Giants solidly in first place. This is awesome, solidly. Another half-game lead by a team. The Giants almost blew this one against a Bengals team that was ready to be beaten. So the Giants still have a lot of work. They had the head coach thing that they dealt with. Not head coach, the offensive line coach, Mark Colombo, firing that they dealt with. But the pocket was pretty good. Daniel Jones was under control. It was a nice game by him, but overall, the Giants still have a lot of holes. You've got to be able to handle the Bengals. I mean, it's looking like they could very well be the champions of the NFC East. Who figures? Titans 45, the Indianapolis Colts 26. The Titans just dropped a 40-burger on a team that could very well be in the playoffs, on a normal year. This was a commanding performance. We're going to circle back to that, and we're going to talk about the man. And yeah, you know who I'm talking about, the man in Tennessee. Browns 27, Jaguars 25. Man, Mayfield just looks more confused every week. They won this game against a team, the Jaguars, that had no business being in the game. The Browns do have talent, but I'm not convinced Baker Mayfield is one of those talents. Yeah, I said it. Panthers 27, Vikings 28. What do you want me to say here? I mean, come on. The Vikings lost to the Cowboys. Cardinals 17, Patriots 20. Ouch, the Patriots just figure out ways to get it done. They spanked a Cardinals team that has all the tools. It's just trying to put it together, and they just couldn't put it together against Bill Belichick. Never count that guy out. Dolphins 20, Jets 3. The only surprise here is Jets got 3 points. Saints 31, Broncos 3. Okay. The Broncos didn't have one QB on their roster. And, that's a story unto itself. Hopefully Joshua is going to be here. Oh, man, I believe Joshua is in the waiting room right now. And we will let him tell us about that game after he pops in. 49ers 23, Rams 20. Again, that's going to be a game I'm going to let Joshua talk about when we come back around. He's getting set up right now. And then Chiefs 27, Buccaneers 24. This was an awesome football game. And we're going to talk about it in depth again as we circle back the wagons and do a little bit more. Right now, we're going to welcome Joshua Griffith to the live reaction show. Joshua, welcome to the show.
Hi, Van. Thanks for having me today. Tough week, tough game, but I'm here.
Yeah, exciting. I don't know how tough they were, but darn sure exciting. I mean, there was so much going on. I'm going to jump in and talk about a game real quick, and then we're going to circle down, give you a heads up, and let you go to one of your two games next. I've already given the overall views, but I want to jump back and roll back right now to the Las Vegas 6. Atlanta 43. They dropped a 40 burger on the Raiders, man. I mean, I'm just loving this. The Raiders statistics, I mean, David Carr, 34 attempts. That's all, just 34 in a game they're that far behind. 22 completions, 215 yards. He had 4 turnovers today, man. He gave the ball away 4 times in various different fashions. He was creative. He was creative in his work. The running back, Jacobs, who is a solid running back, 7 attempts, 27 yards. He got shut down. And then they were all over the Raiders defense, doing pretty much whatever they want. They had 2 rushers in the backfield with over 50 yards. Matt Ryan, the veteran, 39 attempts, 22 yards, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did get an interception, but hey, he is Matt Ryan, okay, right? We got to throw him a bone there, man. Ridley is becoming the receiver that everybody thought that he would be, not. That a few people thought he would be. 9 targets, 6 receptions, 50 yards, got a touch. He's a danger to score every week. I love this game. I love how the Atlanta finally found how to get a lead so big they couldn't lose it in the 4th.
Finally. The same could not be said for the Carolina Panthers, though.
No.
Jeez, what a comeback there by the Vikings.
What a collapse. What a collapse.
Yeah, what a collapse. So the games that I want to talk about, and hopefully I don't have much feedback here as I'm kind of getting it in my ear from on my end, but hopefully you guys aren't picking that up. But the games that I wanted to talk about are the Arizona. Yeah, you are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the downstairs neighbor is playing some really bassy jazz music, so hopefully somebody's having a great time down there on a Sunday night.
There it is.
The games I want to talk about is the Arizona Cardinals and New England Patriots game to start, and holy smokes. I mean, 84 yards by Cam Newton, 9 out of 18, 2 picks, and that wins the game.
That's winning numbers, man.
Winning numbers. I wish that in my game that I was more kind of invested in, that the same could have been said for my quarterback, but no. Nobody really wanted to win this game. There was some interesting penalty calls with the on the special teams return, and then on the one late on Cam Newton to kind of give them in first down and put them in the in position to win the game. But I was happy with it, with Arizona losing, and then that brings me to my second game, which was the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, which was absolutely terrible in the first half. The Rams couldn't do anything except let Johnny Hecker show off his amazing punting abilities, which we already know as a Rams fan.
But they do have Aaron Donald on the team.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything in the first half, but he woke up in the second half, and that made it a game when it was 17-3 there. Aaron Donald woke up, got the strip sack. Ty Hill was able to run it back for the touchdown. It was a game. Cam Akers, rookie, came up with a 61-yard rush.
I just want to give a nod to the efficiency of Aaron Donald. I get the strip sack, the ball's there, but it's like a long way to run. Here, bud, you take it. Okay, you're out of here. Okay, I'm done.
Oh yeah, no, and then the next defensive play he gets a sack too, and that kind of it set things up for the Rams. Cam Akers with the 61-yard run. The Rams were looking like they were going to take the lead. Jared Goff, easily one of his worst games of the season, missed Darrell Henderson on a wide open kind of out and up that could have given them the lead. It could have been 23-7, or it could have been 2017 there, 23-17. But then they didn't do it. They let San Francisco come back in, 2 field goals, and that was it.
A walk-off win there. That's a brutal way to go. All right, well, I'm going to take it back, and I want to talk about, I don't even care who they played. It doesn't matter, because all I'm talking about is the man, well, actually 2 men. Derrick Henry of Tennessee and Mr. Brown of Tennessee. Brown did it again. I mean, he's such a physical specimen. He had 6 targets, 4 receptions, 98 yards, man. 69 was his longest. He got the touch. And then Mr. Derrick Henry, talk about your physical specimen. 27 attempts. Man, that's a lot of attempts. 178 yards. Man, that's a lot of yards. 6.6 average. 31 was his longest. 3 rushing touchdowns. Three. And they did it against a defense, Indianapolis Colts. These aren't scrubs, man. This was a commanding performance. Wouldn't you agree?
Okay, 100%. And if this week, if you had Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill on your fantasy team, it was over. You were blowing up unreal numbers. It was a performance, and it kind of got Tennessee back to the Tennessee that started this season 5-0, right? Where they were really relying on Derrick Henry a lot. 27 carries, like you said, that's a lot of carries for a running back. But that's what Tennessee needs to do to be successful. That's what got them to the conference finals last year. Tannehill's not going to beat anyone, and they need to give the ball to Derrick Henry as much as they can.
It's the Derrick Henry show. But I got to say, man, Mr. Brown as a receiver, what a compliment. I mean, a DB goes, oh, well, at least I don't have to tackle Henry. What the effing heck? I got to do this guy? No, because he beats me up just as bad as Henry does. I mean, they're both so physical. It's just a blast to watch these guys.
Well, that's like the new thing in the NFL is the big, giant physical receiver that you can't bring down. I mean, the Rams kind of saw it today in Deebo Samuel. They couldn't tackle him. I mean, on third downs, he killed them, and he broke 2 or 3 tackles. We can go back to the Thursday night games where there was some, broken tackles by big receivers, DK Metcalf, Chase Claypool.
Right.
Kind of like a fast tight end. If they're fast enough and they're big enough, like Hayden, we're not going to put him at tight end anymore. We're going to put him at receiver and watch what they can do. And it's kind of exciting football.
All right. So do you got another game to go, or you want me to go into my last one?
No, you got you can go again there. I got the 2, and I'm catching up on the other ones as they go along. I mean, the Cleveland Browns are 8-3.
Oh, and, that's what I said right before you came on. Cleveland Browns, they have some serious talent on that club. They really do. I'm just not convinced Baker Mayfield is one of them.
I don't know, man. You know what? If you're doing Allstate commercials, you look at the other 2 quarterbacks that are doing Allstate commercials. And Baker Mayfield is going to put himself in that class to do Allstate commercials.
I mean, the bar is pretty low. All he had to do was do better than Johnny Manziel. Okay, he's done that. So
yeah, but now they got Rodgers doing it, and they got the catch-up master Patrick Mahomes doing it.
I mean, Mayfield is the problem. He's why they're not doing better. Let's make that very clear. Is he capable? The guy's got some mad skills, but he's got to figure out how to put it all together on game day. I mean, that's it. There's some other games. A real close one in Denver. I understand New Orleans went out there, and it was a squeaker, right?
Yes, we had a really exciting game in Denver. If you thought that Cam Newton had some naughty stats on the day for passing, well, you just needed to check out the numbers from the 2 quarterbacks in the New Orleans and Denver Broncos game. 78 yards by Taysom Hill and a big whopping 13. And you know what? It's embarrassing. I'm not even going to say his name. He's not a quarterback. He's not.
No, and
he's a practice roster player. And
I saw a tweet about him saying, man, I hope the guy makes it as a wide receiver because this would suck to be his cup of coffee.
Yeah, man, you don't need that. We saw things, people that are familiar. I mean, I saw you were calling for the emergency backup quarterback like we have up here.
In hockey, man. Bring the guy in. There's got to be a guy up in the stands there somewhere that can play QB better than this kid, okay?
Well, we had it. I mean, we saw for Carolina, and Carolina ended up winning the game against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So I mean, it's awesome. What a story.
That game was really that. I don't know if you caught any of that game or much of it, but it had a really college, like it started kind of exciting. It had a really good college feel to it because everybody was running. It was just wildcat. And you're like, oh, is somebody going to pass? Is anybody going to do anything? I don't even know if I want to say I guess college, but like Division 3, like
the DBs all creep up. They're within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. Yeah,
there was and it was finally Taysom Hill was kind of able to run it, but in favor for New Orleans, but that was that. The NFL should be a little bit embarrassed by that game.
Oh goodness, yes. But I still like our idea about having an emergency QB. I think it's awesome. I think it should be happening.
Let's send a petition into the league.
All right, let's jump to the game that I watched and capped a bunch of this, and I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you talk about a game of two halves, like you were talking about earlier with the Rams. The Buccaneers in the first half, I think they had 3 points or something like that. Maybe 10. I don't know. They sucked. They sucked. Brady was throwing rainbows 6 yards past his receivers. He was throwing picks that had no running game whatsoever. And they were not able to stop Mahomes. Mahomes was just throwing all over the field, having fun. He threw an interception down in the red zone, which slowed them down quite a bit. And then the Bucs defense got tough in the red zone, and they settled for some field goals. But overall, Patrick Mahomes, he had over 300 yards just in the first quarter.
It was unreal.
And then he really slowed down. He only ended up with 462 yards, but he threw a 75-yard rainbow that just dropped into Hill's hands. That was just, it was a thing of beauty. And that was right after Brady had just thrown a duck, on another deep ball. And so, Mahomes comes back like, no, Brady, here that is. So it was really looking bad. But then the second half, I don't know what the hell Brady took back there. But man, he was throwing some rainbows of his own, and they were dropping into his receivers' hands. And he had quite a few balls that were dropped, that were, should have been caught. Well, I won't say quite a few, but he had a couple. The game was unreal, man, but Brady came back. He ended up with 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, but the 2 picks, and that was really the difference in the game. Mahomes had the 3 touchdowns and no picks. It was a close game as Brady kept coming back, and you don't leave time on the clock for Brady. And finally, the Chiefs got the ball back late, held on to it, and ended the game. And the better team won here, without a doubt. And the Buccaneers have a lot of holes in their team, don't they?
Yeah, 100% they do. It moves them to 7-5 on the season. They're still pretty locked in for one of those 3 wild card seeds, especially with Arizona losing today. We'll kind of see what happens in the evening game with Green Bay and the Bears, but they have holes and they've been exposed by some of the better teams. I was going to I wanted to call the Rams one of the better teams, but obviously they have their flaws as well. But right now, can you call New Orleans? They're 9-2, but are they one of the better teams? Really, like what we saw today against Denver is like that's. Are you afraid of them if you're the Chiefs?
No, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm not afraid of anybody.
If you're the Steelers, are you afraid of anyone in the NFC?
No. As a matter of fact, the Steelers and the Chiefs are looking at each other, and that's the game right now. But you can't count the Baltimore Ravens out because if at any time their offensive line starts to gel, that's their whole problem is the offensive line. The rest of the team is there. But their offensive line, the lack of offensive line, I should say, is offensive. And that is their issue. Who knows?
I think this year's going to be interesting because I think we're going to get 3 playoff teams from 2 divisions, with the NFC West having 3 and then the AFC North having 3 as well.
Well, later we've got the Chicago Green Bay coming up here tonight, and of course we'll probably be doing that on social media and covering it. So be sure and do that. And if you've not done yet, please hit that subscribe, slap that notify bell. We really appreciate it. Without you, there is nothing. Joshua Griffith, always a pleasure having you here, sir. People can find you on Twitter at Joshua Griffith 0, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Right down at the bottom, if I'm pointing to the right side, as I
you are, as far as I can
figured it out. Yes, kind of figured trying to do the Brady Bunch thing and trying to figure out what side you got to look at. But
all right, but and then also before we go, please tell us quickly about your weekly show which you put on, which I think is fantastic. But hey, I'm biased.
Yeah, so the Unnamed Sports Show. We got to do it weekly and have a lot of great guests on it. So last week I had Eric Smith, sideline reporter for the Toronto Raptors, and got a really big Canucks guest for all you Canucks fans for this week. So I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna let it known yet. I might tease it a little bit and do some fun spoilers and stuff and promo videos and cut that. But you'll have to tune into that on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Well, there you go, folks. Again, thanks everyone for being here. You can find me on Twitter at Stephen Vanover, same on Facebook. And of course, you can find Sports Talk Line at Sports Talk Line just about everywhere you want to go. And until next time, hey, listen, like you play with intensity. Thanks for being here.